I was born to Tom and Carrie Sweeney on the 4th of May in the year 1993 and was immediately submersed into a very comfortable and loving environment. I definitely got the favorable outcome of Erickson's trust versus mistrust crisis, maybe even to a fault, as my parents were afraid I would be taken by someone because I would enthusiastically say hi to everyone. I came out positively in the second stage of autonomy versus doubt as well. And when we went out, my parents would always have to keep an eye on me because I would run off to wherever I pleased. I also had an endless supply of Maslow's basic needs, and I cannot remember a time that a need has gone unsatisfied. In my third year, and somewhat into school, I had some trouble with Erickson's third stage. I became shy and was not very independent. It wasn't until age 4 that I showed improvement. That was when I told my parents that I wanted to play violin. This was a significant yet strange moment in my childhood, as I reached the top of Maslow's pyramid, the self-actualization stage. This also helped me with the stage underneath it, the esteem needs. Because I had taken it upon myself to learn music, I started my own feeling of accomplishment, and just barely made it out positively of Erickson's initiative versus guilt stage. And performing in front of a large crowd of people didn't hurt either. Because of my musical tendencies, I definitely identify as musical rhythmic intelligent. My second highest on Gardner's chart is linguistic word smart, mostly because my mom read to me constantly, and I started reading at an early age. I also entered the first step of Kohlberg's ladder of moral development. One would probably define me as a teacher's pet in my elementary years. I was a little late getting into the industry versus inferiority stage, which goes along with Piaget's idea of not being able to think logically, or magical thinking. I believe I was 7 when I got a book about how to become a wizard, and I took it completely to heart. I made a wand and everything, and was heartbroken when I wasn't able to make a pencil levitate. In my adolescent years, I definitely saw myself as a unique person. I identified with people like me, and they remain some of my closest friends today. Music remained the most important thing in my life, as I was involved in more than one orchestra in middle school. It was around then that I was vaguely thinking about doing it for the rest of my life, but I wasn't sure until high school. In high school, music became my defining characteristic, because I was completely invested in the orchestra, string quartets, and the pit orchestra for the musical every year. That was also when my best friend introduced me to the Beatles. It's been a hard day. This opened up a whole new world of music that I had never even thought about before. Before this, I only liked music. Now I loved it. Many of my friends helped me refine my musical tastes, and it wasn't long until I was listening to classic rock, jazz, and classical music constantly. This vital moment in my life also allowed me to approach new things with an open mind. This can relate to Vygotsky's theory of learning through a more knowledgeable peer. The influence I got to become an educator undoubtedly comes from a few of my high school teachers, most notably my orchestra director and my physics teacher. You may be wondering about the latter, but he influenced me because he made it very clear that he loved teaching, and I've always admired him for that. Choosing Butler was not difficult. In fact, it was almost my only choice. However, I lucked out because it is a perfect fit. Some of the faculty has been incredibly inspirational and has solidified my decisions of becoming a music educator. Now I believe I am at the end of the intimacy versus isolation stage, as I have quickly made friends at Butler, all of which have lasted. One of the major features of my college career so far was when I joined Phi Mu Alpha Sinfonia, the music fraternity on campus. I found a group of guys that loves music just as much as I do, and who I know support me fully. I have further developed my musical intelligence by choosing to become a music educator and taking classes that I love. I am fulfilling Maslow's self-actualization stage for a second time, because I know this is what I want to do, and I can only hope that it turns out favorably for me in the future.